This is Sybert signing into General's Evolution on the map Vendetta for a 1v1 in the north. Playing the green, playing the China Vanilla. This is Khay. And like two peas in a pod, playing CTank the red. This is Khay. And of course, big thanks to Double Evil for his Battle Scry overlay system, which also allows me to recolor the players. So this was green versus green, China Vanilla versus CTank, which quite possibly would have been a nightmare for us to try and keep straight. But in this case, I turned Khay red, and I left Kay alone. So we have Christmas colors, even though it's way past Christmas, and we're on a brand new map. Well, at least it's new to me. Vendetta, never seen a game on this map. I was excited to see it, and then it's like, oh, it's kind of a twist on Tournament Desert. It is very similar to Tournament Desert, but with some key differences. It almost kind of feels like Pipeline Problems mixed with Tournament Desert, which they're already very similar maps in a lot of ways, but we've got a couple of oil derricks here on the right side, which were secured by Khay, and then we have this double expand on the left side, and then you've got this little pocket of 3 supply docks right there accessible from your main base. Second War Factory finishing up for Khay, double War Factory opening, it looks like, for Khay. Not for Kyle yet. I expect the second War Factory should be coming in soon, especially since Khay is playing the tank general, so it would be very surprising if he skipped out on that double tank production. A couple of dragon tanks will be getting shut down. Gats have dealt with those dragon tanks for now, not without taking a little bit of damage. It's actually going to be a War Factory and a barracks. Quite possibly this barracks just an emergency response due to Khay's aggression. Battlemaster Mark II just kind of hanging out, waiting for that Battlemaster to come over and fight him instead of going after and chasing him. One supply truck down, so the rebuild will have to happen. More lost mining time here for Khay. Khay is going to be very happy with this opening. We'll see if he's actually able to finish the game off quickly, or if Khay is able to bounce back. Somehow they have only captured, or they've captured and held the oil derrick on their opponent's side of the map. I don't know how Khay engineer for this oil derrick got sniped, but the other one managed to make it through. Khay with a lot of pressure here at the start of the game, right down the middle of the map as well. Second barracks going to be getting deployed, a tank general who has more barracks than war factories. Bunker is up in the back line, so as long as it has a couple of rocket squads in it, that location will be safe. A couple of tank hunters to kill any aggression. Khay may be dealing with the tanks for now with his Battlemaster Mark IIs, with his double vet and his heroic tanks, but he's up against Kyle, or he's up against Khay. I would not expect Khay to stay with ground forces for the entirety of the game. Khay loves his air forces. Pretty much the entire time he's been playing Gen Evo, he has been loving those air forces. And constant evacuation by Khay to avoid the dragon tanks 2-3 times. Kyle attempted to use dragon tanks to break these structures in the middle of the map. Khay was not having any of it. Gat cannon actually gets established. If this Gat cannon had been up a minute or two ago, it could have been absolutely devastating, but now there's already a decent number of tanks out, and Kyle is going to be able to do it this. For now, it's looking like a pure meat grinder for both players. Khay going to be having reduced production as he goes into low power mode for a minute or two there. Might even be forced to sell off a Gat cannon just to get himself back online, get his tank production back up to full spec. And having those double vet Battlemaster Mark IIs right from the get-go is a huge benefit in these defender situations. There's still only one War Factory here for Khay, so he has to make this happen. Firestorm ignites in the middle of the 2 tank armies. Khay backs off for a moment. Kyle does as well. Barracks is up. War Factory is producing again, and Another firestorm ignites, not quite burning down the dragon tank, but the gat cannon does get that. Khay has been able to hold on to this position, and he's been able to hold on to that gat cannon. It turned out it was useful after all. Kylerino has now taken both oil derricks, which is a nice step for Kylerino. Arty Strike comes in, strikes a couple of tanks, knocks a number of them down to low health. Khay is going to be forced to retreat, fires off his own Arty Strike as well, and it looks like listening outposts, the expansions there on the left side, will be spotted by the Red Guard. Arty Strike comes in, cleans up a tank right as it spawns in. Cluster Mine as well on top of the barracks will claim a couple of lives there, but it should be cleaned up eventually. Black Napalm has been purchased, and it ignites another firestorm, again, right on the front door of Kyle. Khay has not burned down this war factory yet, but he's very, very close. Only a teeny tiny bit of HP, and there's the firestorm that ignites and burns it down. It is pure pressure from Khay, and Kyle is crumbling. Second war factory finally on the way. Propaganda center is up, and it is now going to be 2 war factory production for Kylerino. His war factory is finally finished. He's got $6 grand in the bank, and he had 12K per minute of income, which he was looking pretty good with that income. Part of that courtesy of that double oil derrick he was able to steal away from Khay, and Khay is now going to be punishing that, but this will buy a brief moment of time for Kyle. Kyle will be back up to 3 supply dock economy in just a minute, right on cue with him losing those 2 oil derricks. Always unfortunate to lose the oil derricks, and okay, we have Emperor Overlords. It is tank v tank. The Emperor Overlord has to deal with the Inferno cannons. We'll see how he does. For now, it is 1 heavily damaged tank. A couple of tank hunters are going to help it chew through that armor, and that is a very dead Overlord. He did not last long. He did not get a single tank. Khay has overwhelming force. Oh, I like the attempt. The bunker getting deployed behind Kyle or behind Khay, and allowing Kyle to kind of distract him. Tanks are going to be engaging, but once again, the tank hunters will make short work of these Emperor Overlords. They are slow, and they don't have any gats to support them. The gat's getting eaten up. Oh, the firestorm doesn't ignite. Finally, this gat does close the distance. Second firestorm does ignite, and Kylerino has rebuilt over here on the left side, keeping himself in this game barely against Khay's better attempts. Fresh bunker gets deployed. Gats finally closing the distance, actually getting on top of a couple of these Inferno cannons, burning down a couple of these rockets as well, taking the tank hunters down, but the MCV is now under threat. That command center won't last long if these Inferno cannons are not dealt with. 3 of the Inferno cannons very low on health. 1 finally goes down, a second will be eliminated, and the third will survive, barely outlasting that Gat. Fresh War Factory buys some time as that command center cannot be cut down. Second tier economy is now up, that late game economy, and Khay clearly thought he was going to be able to end the game with that earlier push. He's floating 20K, which if he had that 20K converted into tanks, converted into Gats, converted into tank hunters, he would have been able to knock Kylerino down. He would have been able to end this game already. And Khay, who is not one to dilly-dally, he ends lots of games very, very quickly. I think he truly thought he had that in the bag, got a little bit cocky, got behind in his macro cycles, and was focused more on building economy and trying to win the game. He didn't know about this expansion, or rather he did know about it, but he did nothing to shut it down. He probably didn't quite realize that that expansion was there, and now Kyle can retake this this supply dock there and have 5 supply economy. Despite the fact that he doesn't have a bunch of internet centers, he's got only 2 going up right now. He doesn't have the same number of internet centers to match Khay. he does have far more supply docks, especially if he takes this one here. Emperor Overlord is here, but so are the Battlemaster Mark IIs. Kyle really needs to be rushing this fight if he can. He does not want to wait for Khay's reinforcements to show up, but actually Kyle has a second plan here, which is to get cluster mined over on the left side of the map. He will be able to knock down the command center. There's nothing there to stop him, but it will also call in all retreat from Khay. So Khay is going to pull everything back to deal with this attack. He's going to try and body block with some power plants. He's going to try and buy as much time as he can, and this is multi-war factory, multi-command center production. Kyle will be getting knocked down here in the back of Khay's base. This attack group will not be able to survive, but once again, they have bought more and more time. Another internet center is coming up. Another supply center is coming up. This arty strike, if it was called in by Kyle Reno, could be massive if he gets the catch on these tanks. Nope, it's an arty strike on the reinforcements of Kyle. Kyle not able to catch Khay's tanks there in the north. That would have been a massive kill if he had fired off arty as his tanks were dying, essentially pulling Khay into a trap, but it wasn't meant to be. Kyle will call in his own arty strike. Oh, okay, and it is going to miss. Yeah, a little bit too late there. Most likely, Khay heard the arty strike fire off and just retreated away from it. Double GAT, I think. Oh, no, it's a speaker tower going up. Double speaker tower to boost those tanks. Khay, he has spent his bank, his 20K, which once held him in this game, or held him back in this game, maybe, has now all been spent. Kyle, even with his superior number of supply docks, cannot keep up with Khay's production. And as it turns out, taking 20K and just dumping it into units is a good way to put out an army that can stop two different sides of the map at once. Nuke cannon does get jumped on, though. That nuke cannon didn't get off very many shots, not as many as Khay would have liked. I can't believe this Emperor Overlord actually survived. I thought for sure that thing would be dead, and it does take a big shot there, but it does survive the first shell. Khay barely not able to clean up Kyle over here on the left side. Two Battlemasters survived that engagement. Khay probably thought he was going to win over there as well, especially with that arty barrage softening things up. Nuke cannon is out. Khay's bank has been spent, but so has his army. I can't believe he wasn't actually able to finish it off, but Kyle did such a good job of splitting the attention of Khay. Over here on the left side, multiple attacks. Through the middle, the defense was as close to his own base as it could be, making use of the GAT cannons and the closer reinforcement path. Even with this proxy war factory here for Khay, he has spent a lot more resources building infrastructure, and he just didn't have enough for that final push. Twice now, Khay has been close to eliminating. Oh, well, Kyle is believing in the Christmas spirit. He's keeping the Christmas spirit in his heart every day of the year, donating away a tank like that. Inferno cannon. All right, kind of getting a bait there. That Civ structure and this bunker both have tank hunters inside of them, and they are a difficult thing to kill, especially without aircraft, which I'm really surprised. Khay, I don't know if these guys agreed no aircraft beforehand, but Khay normally is a big aircraft guy. Did that nuke cannon just friendly fire? I think that nuke cannon just basically friendly fired. He just took out a chunk of the health of both of those buildings. Yeah, nuke cannon gets both of those GATs. Khay has expanded pretty well. Kyle, now that he's back up to 5 supply dock, plus his own internet centers, his economy stabilized really nicely, and he has been matching the economy of Khay for the last couple of minutes. MiG strike comes in, cleans up those nuke cannons. I assume it was a MiG strike. Some support power comes in and cleans them up. Firestorm ignites again, right on the edge of that war factory, burns it down. ECM is here. The deflection's actually doing a pretty good job of damaging Khay's own Inferno cannons. GAT cannon will get canceled by these Inferno cannons. Second volley to clean up this other Gat cannon. Nicely done. 2 war factories? Yeah, 2 war factories being established. And even if Khay didn't go 8 or 12 MiGs, I'm surprised he hasn't gone any MiGs. Firestorm gets called in on top of the war factory, grabs a couple of Gats, grabs the Emperor Overlords as well, kind of cutting off the reinforcement path, burns down the war factory, and the artillery will be the answer for Khay. That artillery, it's so vulnerable. Carpet bomb comes in. Bit of a miss there. Cluster mine as well. Bit of a miss. Kylerino deploying multiple war factories literally to just buffer. He has multiple conyards, multiple command centers, just to try and buffer Khay. If Kyle was the first... Okay, we do have at least one airfield here for Khay. Kyle may have actually been the first player to get an airfield in this game. But yeah, even if it's only 4 MiGs, 4 MiGs can do a lot to disrupt your opponent. And as far as Kyle has been in this... Arty Strike? As far along as Kyle has been in this game, there have been a lot of Gat presence. Oh, there we go. Arty Strike comes in, breaks the bunker, and a power plant gets sniped at some point as well. Low power mode. Double Helix goes down. A couple of Gats there. Yeah, the Gat presence from Kylerino has been pretty consistent. So the MiGs, any aircraft that come in, they're not necessarily going to return home. But that's often true of aircraft in Gen Evo regardless. This is not a new concept. This is something that people are familiar. This is a trade-off that people are familiar with making in Gen Evo. So that alone shouldn't be a deterrent for Khay getting a couple of MiGs. And he just typically is more active with his aircraft. Another nuke cannon gets cleaned up, or another power plant gets cleaned up there. And these Emperor Overlords, they might actually be able to push this front line forward. It is slowed way down for Khay and Kyle. Firestorm ignites on top of the bunker, breaks the bunker. The war factory may be getting shut down. He forces to sell off. The Inferno cannons will be able to ignite a Firestorm on top of these Emperor Overlords. Almost all of the buildings have been broken, but this last one stands strong. The mine drop will be revealed. This is technically 2 cluster mine drops that have been deployed over there. And they will be slowly pushing forward. Gats on the high ground. Both of those oil derricks being cleaned up minutes ago. Khay has retaken his economic supremacy in this game. He is the economy leader. Carpet bomb will not land. Well, a couple of shots do land, but not enough to knock down the supply center. Inferno cannons should be able to get the kill on the supply center. If they ignite the Firestorm, it'll be over. And the shots are too separated, although a Firestorm on top of those Gats could be massive. Oh, it doesn't ignite. The split happens instead. And those Inferno cannons there, they'll finally burn down that supply center. EMP or cluster mine, neither one actually lands. Inferno cannons once again having to pull back. The center of this map has just been an absolute grinder for both teams. They have lost so much value in the middle of these 2 bases. Nuke lands. Those Emperor Overlords are so tough against the nukes, but they die so early, or they die so quickly early on to a couple of tank hunters. They can take a whole nuke shell or 2 or 3, but those tank hunters early on absolutely shred them. MiGs finally will break this building. There we go. Khay has been holding on to that position partially due to that building. The tank hunters inside of that building are so strong at stopping these pushes. Khay, 26K in the bank. Big Firestorm ignites on top of the Gats, on top of the Emperor Overlords. Couple of more Gats going to be walking in there. That nuke eviscerates the infantry, but the return fire, the MiG strike comes in, and the front line has been broken. More Emperor Overlords slowly making their way to the front line. Kyle has broken Khay's defenses, but with just barely anything. 30 grand in the bank. Khay says, I guess it's over, but it's only over because he chose to not spend the 30 grand he had in the bank. And over here, a Civ's structure. Well, he's dropping 3 more war factories. It kind of seems like he does want to fight this out. He's getting his own Overlord tanks. I don't know, maybe the play is actually you bank a bunch of cash and then you do this. You proxy like 12 buildings all at once off of one listening outpost, and then you just proxy base crawl into your opponent's base, which would be funny, but I hope this is not the direction that the game goes more in the future. Bunker does get cleared out there. The Dragon tank able to make that happen. A couple of barracks do get established. Couple of GAT cannons as well. Carpet bomb finally actually lands. One of the few carpet bombs to actually land in this game. MiGs now out on the strike for Khay. A couple of them will be going down. They ignite the firestorm. They clean up a number of GATs. 2 of them will return home. The listening outpost still has some build radius, and Khay has once again spent his bank, which I don't know, maybe he was intentionally banking a bit of that. I don't know that he was intentionally banking 30K, but he didn't just give up. He did decide he was going to spend that money, and now he's back on the offense. With neither side going for a nuke, you just have to wait for those support powers to reset a lot of the times to be able to break the front line of your opponent. Ooh, MiG strike comes in. It will clean up 1 Overlord. Second Overlord is low on health. Maybe they both survive. EMP lands, only traps a couple of Overlords. Oh, that one actually got tagged by it as well. Both of those Overlords getting caught. Command center on the front line, a little bit of a buffer to buy some time. War factory going to be getting burned down on the left side. Meanwhile, on the right side, it is a bunker being captured by Khay. Kylerino did this in the north, and now Khay is doing it there in the southern position. It's Overlord versus Emperor Overlord, and the Emperor Overlords should be able to hold their own, but it is too many tanks. Hold their own in a 1v1 at least, but it is too many tanks from Khay. 21K per minute for both players. 3 more internet centers being deployed by Khay. Kylerino, on the other hand, he has had the superior number of supply docks for most of this game. Their income has been evening out at different points. One of them will gain an advantage, and then the other one will catch up, or one of them the other one will gain a bit more of an advantage and then get caught up to again. Firestorm does not ignite. Does do a little bit of chip damage to that Emperor Overlord. So many of these tanks for Kylerino show up to the front line having already been damaged either by support powers or MiGs coming in and striking them. Khay opening up a second front in this war. This time it's in the east, the center and the east instead of the west. Kylerino still has to deal with MiG strikes on the west side though. Those MiGs making relatively continuous runs against that west side, and a carpet bomb as well on top of the command center, going to be doing some chip damage, and Khay has not been stopped. He has 2 more Overlords reaching the front lines soon, but GATs are here to try and stop them. How many Overlords can, or how many GATs does it take to take down an Overlord? I think quite a few GATs. Like 3 tank hunters or 12 GATs. Take your pick. Couple of MiGs going down. Fully heroic Emperor Overlord doing massive damage to those Overlords. Finally, they do go down. Double vet 4K, and he now has this new proxy location full of internet centers, generating him more and more money, full of GATs, which are just annoying to dislodge. Okay, switching it up, triple barracks on the front line, and he might just be going pure spam, which the GATs are pretty good at dealing with tank hunter spam. But if you have a couple of Overlords to clear out the GATs, or even a MiG strike to come in and clear out the GATs, then the tank hunters can take over. Emperor Overlord can tank the GAT cannons decently well, but with 3 of them there, they do chip it down over time. Another internet center going to be ignited. Inferno Cannon is there as well. It is a slow, steady victory for Khay. He keeps pressing and pressing. At times, forgetting to spend 20 or 30 grand at any moment's notice, but he's eventually getting there. 4 GATs lined up with 3 GAT cannons behind them. Everything else has been cleared out of this area. There used to be war factories here, command centers, maybe some, maybe a couple of supply depots, but supply centers, but not anymore. Emperor Overlord's gonna try and break up to the high ground. Another nuke cannon. I don't know if this is a good idea. I think these Emperor Overlords might be able to get the kill on the nuke cannon. And Khay is trying to move forward. It is a triple barracks tank hunter spam in the middle versus just slow Overlord reinforcements coming in on the west side. Firestorm ignites. GAT cannons will be burned down by it, and those tank hunters add that extra DPS. These Emperor Overlords, eventually does go down, and the nuke cannon survives. Kyle is going to have to pull something out, and it's going to be a counterattack. 3 Emperor Overlords on the left side, but it's also going to be a carpet bomb coming in for both sides. This one is on top of the airfield trying to catch them on the deck, but they are already in the sky. Overlords coming in, but it's the tank hunters which will allow the Overlords to quickly kill off their opponents on the red side. MiGs eventually crashing down. The war factory will replace that airfield, and Khay comes in for another pass. He's held on to the east. He may have not done anything really permanent to the west, but Kyle Areno needs to deal with this attack at his front door. I think he already used his carpet bomb. He does have his arty strike. It cleans out a number of the tank hunters, but not all of them. And Khay can keep pushing forward. More GATs. Again, as long as the GATs target the tank hunters, they break them down very quickly. They take out the tank hunters super fast. But man, those tank hunters just chew through Overlords so quickly. So easy for the infantry to just make those tanks look like nothing. A couple of GATs are here. The front has been broken. Khay is too rich. 30k per minute. Kyle Areno with 29k per minute, but I think at this point he's lost so many production facilities he just can't actually sustain this position. He's actually lost most of his supply docks as well. It's just slowly being chewed away at. So Kyle Areno really just has whatever EMP lands, misses almost everything. Oh no, Kyle Areno only EMPs his own reinforcing tank. Everything else dodges. Khay manages to avoid the EMP. But yeah, Kyle Areno, he's lost all of his supply trucks, all of his supply centers. He's just existing on the internet centers, and that's the advantage that Khay has always had. Bunker gets busted. All of the tank hunters go down. Kyle Areno has been broken. Nuke cannons on the high ground, Emperor Overlords on the low ground, but the thing that helped Khay actually break Kyle is, of course, the tank hunter. Kyle Areno has been defeated. Khay with a low, slow boil, taking over the whole northern half of the map, and then just slowly stepping on Kyle's throat to win the game. That will do it for this match on the map. Vertigo? What was it called? I don't remember. Vindication or something. And that will do it. Thank you all very much for watching. And this is Sybert signing out.